Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the Brims and some of their rivalries and some of the cases involving them. All the Brim sets started off in South Central, but the Brims now have different sets in different cities and different states. The Brims have been around for over 4 decades and have multiple sets. You have the Fruitown Brims, which a lot of their territory has been gentrified, meaning the city moved a lot of the members out of the area, making them relocate to other places. USC is in the area, basically meaning this gentrification occurred because of the school. Meaning basically the city wanted to clean out the area for the school and not thinking about the residents who live there. Then you had the Van Ness Gangster Brims, which they go by VNG for short. They call their area the 50s. Then lastly you had the Harvard Park Brims, which they get their name from the park in their hood. One of the Harvard Park Brims' most known streets would be 62nd, and that's why they call themselves the Six Dudes Brims. All of the Brims are clicked up and aligned together, so that means they move as one, and they all take on the same enemies. The Brims are surrounded by a lot of rivals, so they went up against a lot of heavyweight gangs, making them have to become a threat themselves. The Brims are good with other blood hoods like the 20s and BPS, but the Brims beef with a lot of neighborhood gangs, and some gangs that are aligned with them. They beef with the 30s, and neighborhood Crip gangs like the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. Brims have even taken on other major gangs like the Hoovers, so this will tell you that the Brims haven't backed down for anybody. With that being said, let's get into some cases. August 27, 2007, around 10 p.m., Kia was chilling outside of her house on 57th Street with her cousins Destiny and Dornice, and also her friend Thomas. They seen a Tahoe drive up and down the block multiple times, coming back mugging them and looking up and down the street. Minutes later, a man walked up on them aggressively and said, "What's up?" Then the group started to run, believing something was about to happen. Moments later, shots was being fired at them. Thomas got shot and was laid out in the middle of the street. A neighbor from a few blocks down gave a statement of seeing a man running from the scene and jumping straight into a car and speeding off. Thomas lost his life from the shooting, from multiple shots to the head. When police arrived, Kia gave a description of the driver and the shooter. A few weeks later, Kia was called in by the police to pick suspects out of a photo lineup. She picked 2 rolling 30 Crips out as the driver and the shooter. She picked a man named Tiny Yak as the shooter and 3 Fingers as the driver. The car was even registered in 3 Fingers' name. Both Tiny Yak and 3 Fingers were sentenced to life sentences. Around 11 a.m. on April 11, 2012, DJ was sitting outside of his job on 54th Street. Down the block, he heard multiple gunshots and seen a man dropping to the floor. The car that shot the victim drove past DJ where he locked eyes with the shooter, and the car drove past him. DJ's boss called the police, and DJ ran down the street to help the victim. His name was Larry. Larry didn't survive the shooting. DJ's boss gave the police camera footage of what he had of the car driving by, but it didn't show the plate number. The shooting occurred by another store, so the police got the footage from that store owner and found out that the car registered to a rolling 60 named Dante. DJ and another witness who was at the store picked Dante out as the shooter. Around a month later, Dante was picked up in a motel where he had a bunch of things on him, including a strap. Dante was placed in a holding cell with another rolling 60 who became informant. Dante told the informant the police caught him with a strap, and he tossed the one that he used in the shooting. Dante being a known rolling 60 and a shooting occurring in Brims turf, that was used as a motive in court, and Dante was sentenced to 50 to life. On the night of November 2nd, 2014, it was a big party in the A-Tray Gangsters turf on 77th Street. The party was hosted by Sandra, her sister Sonia, and her boyfriend Darren, and also Darren's cousin Lisa. They even had a DJ named William and a person taking photos named Don. Towards the end of the party, Lisa called her daughter Leisha to pull up. Lisa was then informed by the DJ William that Don was taking inappropriate pictures of her, basically being creepy as hell. By this time, Leisha pulled up, and her mom began to press Don about the pictures he took. Let's just say Brett was looking all up in Lisa in the pictures. Don told them he wasn't deleting the pictures, so Leisha hopped in her car and drove on the side of Don. Leisha then hopped out with a man. The man began arguing with Don. In the midst of the argument, pulled his strap out on Don and shot him multiple times. He took his life and took his camera. Leisha and the dude she came with hopped in the car and drove off, but what they didn't know was a house nearby had surveillance camera and caught the whole shooting on tape. The shooter was a dude named Evil from 6 Dudes Brim. What him and Leisha didn't know was the whole shooting was caught on tape from a nearby surveillance camera from a neighbor's house. DJ William testified in court and gave his account. He said Lisa called her daughter and she put up with Evil tripping. The next thing you know, Don had a laser on him, and Lisa was taken down camera, and Don was shot. The security camera footage was used at court, and Evil was sentenced to life. June of 2015, police found a man named Marvin slumped in front of a liquor store. He lost his life. Police got the video from the store owner, and it showed a white car doing the shooting. Police later found the car in a residential area in front of a woman's home. The car belonged to her. Her name was Raquel. They later got a search warrant to go inside her home, where they found the man to believe to be the shooter. He was from V&G. The liquor store where the shooting took place was in the Rolling 40 Crips turf. At the scene, a 40 Crip gave a statement and said he heard someone from the car yell blood, then shooting occurred after. The shooter was named Steven. He said he shot in self-defense after getting an altercation with some Crips, but he only shot out of fear. Steven was a known Brim, and he was shooting at 40s, so this was used as a motive for the shooting. Steven was convicted and received 25 years to life. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.